Hi, my name is Sammy and I talk about human design on my channel, and today I'm going to be talking about the Ajna Center. So the head center again is going to be the top triangle. If I was the body graph, it'd be right here, and then that second triangle facing downward is going to be the Ajna Center, which is what we're going to be talking about here on this video. The Ajna Center is going to be an awareness center. It's where all those ideas and inspiration, whether they came from outside of ourselves with the open head or whether they came from inside, from our own inspiration through our defined head, they are going to trickle down into that Ajna Center right below the head center. And that is where we are going to be able to kind of sift through our beliefs, our principles, and our truths. I know there are other areas on the body graph, for example, the root, that have certain gates that will have principles within them. But for now, we're just going to focus on the beliefs and the truths that we hold in the Ajna Center. Again, throughout this video, please keep in mind that strategy and authority is so key with everything that we do in the body graph and within human design. So whether you're defined or you have this open, you still have to go through that strategy and authority before really holding into a belief or a truth. For example, I am an emotional authority. I already do have an open ajna, but if I had a defined ajna with the emotional authority, before I went and spread my truth to someone, if it was like this really big truth that I wanted to share, it is important that I allow myself those 3 days to really work through or sift through whether or not that was correct for me or if it still feels in alignment for me. I just wanted to throw that example out there again, because even though we can sit there and talk about the head center, the Ajna Center, or any of the other centers within the human design chart, it's literally about looking at the whole big picture when looking at anyone's body graph, or if you're looking at your own. So at its highest frequency, at its best vibration, when the Ajna is working in complete and utter alignment, it is all about staying true to your own principles, your own beliefs, while accepting and respecting other people's beliefs as well. Which it makes me kind of giggle thinking about that, because I do have an open ajna and I do in this life see so many different perspectives. So I can see how that is a difficult thing to do often in our lifetime. It can often feel as if we are divided as a society. And so by looking into the Ajna Center, we can really start to tap into the potential of humanity, because we start to see that regardless of if you have this defined or not, that the entire point of this center is to remind us that we are all allowed to embody our own truths as long as we respect and we give that respect back to other people. Just as you would want someone to listen or appreciate something that is true to you and value and respect that, you would, think about the fact that other people want the same. So, like I had mentioned, I am here with an open ajna. I don't know why I said I am here. I am here today, but I do have an open ajna. And so because of this, I am not here to stick to one belief. This reigns so true in my life from the moment I was born, I believe, genuinely. I am always interested in seeing other people's unique perspectives. When I'm around a lot of people, I notice that I kind of can take in a lot of information that's happening and a lot of different opinions going on without really having this spark or drive within me to kind of state my own opinion or state my claim on which one I believe if it feels divided. If anything, I really am able to see in a more empathetic way and almost play devil's advocate, because I'm able to really see all the unique perspectives and appreciate them for what they are. If you have an open ajna, you really do see all sides to things and take in a lot of people's opinions. changing your mind is completely right for you. If you feel like there's pressure from society or from anyone that you know or people you live with, or maybe it's your parents or whatever, to have a specific mindset on something, understand that it is totally correct for you to change your mind, and it doesn't matter really what anybody thinks at the end of the day. It is about you being more fluid and being more able to navigate all these unique ideas, because eventually your beliefs come through other avenues in your chart, or they come through your ability to take all these different opinions and take what you want from them, but leave away the rest of them, if that makes any sense. If you have a defined ajna, you're more firm on what you believe. If you do have this defined, again, I highly recommend, even if you have this open, if you have gates, to go look at those as well. But if you have a defined ajna, to go look at what channel or what channels are connected there, to really get more insight on how to navigate these defined ideas, or how they are cultivated within you. You are here to express your truth really naturally. And I say the word naturally with the intention of saying that, again, it's about following your strategy and authority and going about expressing what is your truth or your belief with the principles and mindset that you're not trying to push anyone to believe what you believe. And I know that might, push someone the wrong way when I say that, or spark this like feeling of frustration within you. Because it is so easy, especially in this day and age with social media and whatnot, to kind of surround yourself with this idea that it is okay to bulldoze people if their belief is not exactly the same as yours. And I am in no way, shape, or form judging that behavior, because again, with human design, there is so much conditioning. I have a ton of conditioning. It might not be in the way of the ajna being defined, but it doesn't mean that I'm not on this journey with you, or it doesn't mean that there's not other shadows that come up within me or other people that they need to work on. But I will say, with the defined ajna, that is, in the day and age we live in, something we see very often, is people unable to really let go when people do not believe exactly what they do. And I just want to throw out there that do not allow this defined center to judge other people, or to get you in a state of this complete anger or frustration because you don't understand why someone doesn't believe you. Because I know that a lot of the times it's out of this disbelief, like, how could someone not see it my way? How could someone have a different point of view? And it's not usually coming from this hateful space or energy. But over time, when you put that out into the world, especially to someone who is undefined, they amplify that emotion. They amplify whatever it is that you are putting out. Because again, people with open centers are going to amplify that defined center. And so trying to dictate someone, especially with an open ajna, who is really not here to have that firm belief, is going to frustrate you and probably the person with the open ajna. But more importantly, if you are two people that have that defined ajna on opposite points of views, to remember to remain respectful and to not allow energies within our body, within the body graph in general, to push you past that point of forgetting how much similarity comes within being humans. I think human design is a great way to look at things just like what I just said, and realize that there's so much more depth to people, and that by having this understanding about our energy and the people we love and the people around us, we're able to then really see past these what feel at that point petty things that we disagree on, because we see their energy for what it is and we see our own energy for what it is, and we are able to kind of cultivate and collect how to navigate and how to express that defined ajna in a respectful and loving way. Other people's opinions are as beautiful as yours. And remember that if you have this defined, that just as you want other people to respect the ideas and thoughts that you have been able to really process, because I don't want to take away from the fact that the defined ajna is really able to break down major concepts and things that you are possibly an expert in with this defined ajna. You are really able to bring it out into the world in a way that is easier or more understand, like easier for people to understand. I don't know why, but the example I want to think of is like when I was in college and I took algebra 1 and I was terrible at math, and I have an open ajna, and I feel like the person that I went to go do tutoring with was probably someone who had a defined ajna and probably someone who had a channel to the throat, because they were really able to break down these concepts that weren't as easy for me to understand and then speak them out into a language that I could really process. So that's just a silly example that came to my mind, but I hope that was helpful. You can become, again, an expert to help and share concepts with others if it is in alignment for you. The biggest thing I want to mention before ending this video is that if you have a defined ajna, what I notice if people have their defined heads or defined ajnas is that it isn't as easy for you to just sit down and be like, all right, I'm meditating, or all right, I'm going to sleep. Like, you are constantly in your head and you're constantly thinking. But again, as I mentioned in other videos about the open centers or defined centers, is that human design is about embodying it in the body. Like, it's about being in the body, not about being in the mind. And the ajna is still the thinking of the mind. So trying to figure out what kind of meditations work for you, guided meditations, or listening to music, or finding some sort of calming spiritual practice, whether that means just like going to a sound bowl or going to a Reiki session, something that can kind of get you into this alignment without feeling like you have to stop everything and try and meditate on a whim. And know that that's totally normal. There's so many people I've done readings for that were the exact same way. And so for me, someone who has an open ajna, so if you're watching this and you have an open ajna, I will say that it is important that you do kind of filter out a lot of those ideas that you've kind of taken in and processed around the, I want to say around the clock for some reason, but like throughout the day. And so when you're able to kind of reground yourself and take what you want and then leave the rest, or, let the rest kind of go down that grounding cord, especially if you have an open head, like I have an open head too. It's important that, every few hours sometimes for me, if I'm taking in a lot of new information or I'm around a lot of people, to really kind of reground myself and to let myself really get out of my head and out of my ajna for a moment and take what I want or take what I need to take and then leave the rest behind. So it's kind of like that saying of, letting go of anything I no longer need to hold on to. I feel like people with an open ajna, that is a motto right there. Regardless, anyone anyone who has an ajna, wow, I am really saying some silly things on this video. Anyone who's listening to this, just always remember that regardless of if you have this defined or undefined, there is conditioning in both of them, but they both have the highest and beautiful expression of staying in your beliefs and your truths and sharing new ideas and sharing new perspectives of what is yours and what you feel like you've learned or cultivated, with the idea of respect and love is always the best and possible greatest outcome. Remember to follow the strategy and authority and to always lead with your heart with everything that you're doing as well. All right, I hope that this was helpful. Again, my name is Sammy, and if you have anything you would like to leave in the comments, please do. I appreciate you all so much and have a great day.